going to have here isn't so much of a brouhaha, it's science. We're at the Iowa City BrewLab, and Drew, I feel like we should be wearing lab coats.
We should.
Although in Iowa City, almost everyone wears lab coats, so it wouldn't really stand out. The Iowa City BrewLab is a very cool place in downtown Iowa City, and Drew, you guys are a native brewery.
Correct.
And explain to me what a native brewery is.
Well, there's basically two kinds of brewery license in Iowa. One is a native brewery, where you can have a single tap room, retail location, and self-distribute your own product. And the other way to go is with a brew pub license, which gives you a full liquor license. You have multiple locations, but you can't distribute your own beer. You have to go through a distributor.
You guys specialize in doing smaller batches.
Definitely. That's kind of the key concept, is to keep turning over new batches, new flavors, introduce people to new styles of beer.
And that's quite by design.
By design.
You don't want to keep churning out the same stuff over and over and over
Right.
again.
Yeah,
Right.
we like to experiment. That's kind of going with the lab themes.
What are some of the great experiments? What are you the proudest of in this time?
Well, it's taken a few batches just to learn the system. For my son Nathan does the brewing, but now he's got the process down. Every beer he turns out is really good, top quality product.
My kid does something that I'm proud of. I put it on the refrigerator. When your son does something that makes you proud, you put it in the refrigerator.
In the refrigerator.
How long has Nathan been brewing beer?
We've both been at it for quite a few years.
So it's a family affair?
Family affair. He got me started home brewing. So.
He got you started?
He got me started home brewing.
No way. That's unusual. So how long have you guys been brewing together?
It's probably been about 9 years.
But
since the first home brew that we did on Thanksgiving Day that made us late for Thanksgiving dinner, but
because you were brewing, or
because
because
we were brewing
you were
our first
enjoying
batch.
it?
Right?
Okay,
So,
okay. You guys hatched this plan. Why don't we just go into business and do our own thing?
Yeah, it's kind of been the dream, because we've both just been immersed in the beer culture, making beer, brew clubs, conferences.
You've talked about, before we turn the cameras on, you talked a lot about how important it is at the Iowa City BrewLab to have as much Iowa City involvement. I mean, these beautiful tabletops were done by local artists. Talk to me about the community and how they've embraced this place.
Yeah, we're trying to fit into the local food scene, the local art scene. We do a comedy night here. We've had local musicians come in to play on the weekends. Like I say, we've got some local artists did the bar top and some of the other decorations around the tap room. So we just like to fit in with that Iowa City kind of culture. It's a nice, vibrant culture. People like to get out and try new things,
now,
experience new things. Hence kind of
college kids get credit for drinking here because it's a brew lab?
That's right. We've been working on that.
Yeah.
So
are there lab fees? Is that something you could kind of work out?
That's right. There is a new course this year on the craft beer market.
At the University of Iowa?
At the University of Iowa.
No kidding.
So,
do they do it here? They should.
they're going to send some students down here to do some homework. So.
Right on. Well, there you go. If you're sending a kid to the University of Iowa, make sure they take that class. How many different beers you got right now, Drew? How many different beers are on that big board there?
We usually keep 8 or 9 of our own beers on tap.
8 or 9 of your own, and then you do kind of guest tap kind of situation?
Taps, do guest taps and cider, guest cider.
So of the 8 that you have, let's walk through what are some of the things that you're really, I guess you're not really known for stuff because you're always changing it up, right?
Well, there are a few beers we tend to make pretty regular. We do our IPA, which is always a big seller.
Okay.
Called Summoniferous Tubloidial Bitternoids, which, if you're a Beavis and Butthead fan, you might know that reference.
Okay.
Or a urologist. So.
This is what you just did to me. Here I thought, wow, I'm over my head with this guy and all of his science talk.
Right.
It's a Beavis and Butthead reference. Okay, I feel much more
right.
comfortable. What else are you known for? What are the...
Our Section X is our pale ale,
okay.
which is also hoppy but not as bitter. That's a little simpler recipe, and we just put a different hop in there every time, so that kind of goes with our experimentation theme.
You're able to take bigger chances and swing for the fences here, because again, you do some small batches. What's the weirdest thing that you've made?
Our Brewed Bison.
Brewed Bison.
Brewed Bison.
Which was?
We make a nice Heffa Bison.
Okay.
Just works well on our system. Gives us, nice clove flavor, a little banana. But it also mixes well with the kombucha, so we'll do a lot of shandies.
Okay.
But this time they gave us actually a sour keg that was like a super sour. batch of kombucha that had been sitting around for a while.
Okay.
So we did that half and half in a keg with our Heffa Bison and called it Booch-Weizen.
That's fantastic.
So it's kind of a blended sour beer. It went over really well, so sold quickly.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I feel like I've learned a lot, and I didn't have to pay a lot of money for like a book and then try and sell it back to the bookstore for like 10%. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I got one over on science.
Next on Brewed, oranges, limes, and beets? How this odd combo comes together in a special brew that's good for your belly.